Hi John, back to winning ways in the league. How did you rate the performance?
Very average. It was all about the 3 points in the end. We were delighted to take the 3 points, particularly after losing at Brackley on Tuesday. It would have been disappointing if we hadn't have picked up the points today. But I was aware that Telford were a decent side. They were okay because I'd seen them a few weeks ago at FC United, and so I knew they were a bit of a challenge. The conditions were poor. Well, not so much poor, but difficult. It's always the wind's always a major problem for players that want to try and get the ball down. But we were just pleased that we managed to get through. I mean, it wasn't a game of many chances. They didn't create very many at all. I think that's probably where their issues are. They don't seem to be, looking at them today, they don't look like they could add many goals in them. I always thought we looked more likely to get a goal, but I think they all go away feeling a bit disappointed.
As you say, it wasn't a game of many chances, and maybe we didn't play the sort of football that maybe we're renowned to do at home. Was it anything that you said to the lads which maybe you said, we are going to have to adapt to the conditions here?
No. We always give them the same principle. I mean, we do change it around a little bit, but I certainly didn't do today, and there was no reason for us not to. It was, to be fair, with us being as windy as it was, it was more important to get it down on the floor. So I'm not given any different instruction than normal. I think that you just get some of them games every season, whether it's home or away. You get games where you're just pleased that you haven't paid to get in, and you just have to keep your fingers crossed and hope that when you come out the other end, you've got the points. And it's certainly not lost. so and that's what's happened. That's been the outcome today. Where I was just, even the last 30 seconds, I'm thinking, I still don't feel safe. Something daft could happen. With the wind being as strong as it was. So, I'm just pleased we managed to get over the line.
Good. Obviously, there's a few changes to the team today. Obviously, Mickey Norton's coming up front. The left back's changed. Can you just talk us through a few of the changes that you made?
Yeah, well, Niall had a bit of a. That's Niall Cummins had a bit of a calf problem that he had treatment for on Thursday, and we were a bit concerned about risking him. And we had Mike who was fit and fresh and ready to go. So I felt it was worth a change to have a look at Mike, give him a bit longer to try and blow some of his cobwebs off. So that was all it was really. It was protecting Niall a little bit. Connor, he had a hamstring. He came off at half time at Brackley. He's had treatment on Thursday. Did a little bit of training. Did a fitness test today. Was declared probably about 95% fit and probably could have got through the game if we'd have been stuck. But we've obviously, you'll be aware that we've managed to sign Jack Truelove on a month's loan from Oldham Athletic. With that in mind, because Joe Guest had a slight niggle on his hamstring as well, and we couldn't afford not to get something in as a bit of cover. So we managed to get Jack. Oldham Athletic were very helpful, allowing us to do that quickly. So thank you to them. And that was it really. Joe, we didn't feel we could risk Joe Guest and Connor Hampson in the same game, because if they'd have both pulled up and had long-term injuries, we'd have had a major problem. So, in terms of balance and everything. So, we went with the one, and I thought, Jack's come in, done very well in the main.
Cool. You say earlier that obviously we didn't create many chances or anything. Do you put that purely down to the conditions today, or do you think that maybe we weren't quite clicking as we normally do?
No, we weren't clicking. I think a bit of credit to them. I think defensively they were reasonably strong. We didn't really, we didn't get down the sides of them enough, like we do at times. I think there was a little bit of probably inexperience contributed to it in terms of not knowing how to move the opposition out of certain positions on the pitch to try and create space. There's a little bit of know-how needed sometimes to try and create a little bit of space. I think we lack that. But that's just inexperience, and that's what you get with younger players, and we've generally got that in our side. We've got a reasonable number of young players in, and I think it's just one of them. Sometimes it comes off. I think just before half time, probably for about 10 or 15 minutes, we suddenly sort of dropped into gear, and we all of a sudden started looking like the side that we normally look. And then, of course, the whistle went at half time, and we went back to the other one. So it was just a scrappy game. It was a scrappy game, and thankfully we won it.
Just a quick look ahead to next week. We play Nuneaton in the FA Trophy. It will probably be quite a different game to the one earlier in the season, simply because the conditions will be different. It'll be more like today, more than likely. How do you expect that to go, or what sort of a challenge do you expect from them?
Well, the conditions are different. I think the good conditions suit them. I think they are ultimately a football team. They know what we're about. I mean, they know us very well. Kevin Wilson knows enough about us. He's not his favourite place coming here, but they haven't won for whether it be Ilkeston or Nuneaton. They haven't beaten us here as a management team, and he'll be anxious to put that right. So I'm anticipating a very difficult game. They're obviously a good side, but we have shown that we can beat them. We know enough about them, and they know a lot about us, and they know a bit more with all the footage that's on the internet now. So, because they do look, and I'm aware of that. So we'll have to sort of up our game a little bit and be a bit brighter, and maybe tweak the set pieces a little bit, and if you're watching Kevin, just you have to look around to find these next ones. So I don't know. We're looking forward to it. It'll be a good game.
Cheers, John.
Thank you.